That's great. Now we will be moving on to our next presentation by 6566 Circuit Breakers. They are presenting from Aledo, Texas. They'll be talking about teamwork through outreach. So since 2012, Circuit Breakers has been building top-tier robots and moving out first values. They reached area, regional, state, and world competitions multiple times, and recent wins include Regional Inspire, Second Inspire, and Think, plus the Design Award at the Run for the Robotics Premier event. Please welcome 6566 Circuit Breakers.
Okay, hello everybody. We are the Circuit Breakers, and this is our presentation about teamwork through outreach. We're one of four Aledo High School robotics teams, and we're going to talk to you in our presentation about how to do outreach that's going to actually impact people you're outreaching to, and then how to effectively present that to the judges through the portfolio. So, why does outreach in notebook matter? So, it's a strong first value. Why is it important strong? Why is it important strong first? Why is impact so important? How can you structure your notebook to showcase your teamwork's hard work?
Okay. One of the ways you can show the outreach you're doing is by spreading FTC. So we actually go to local community events in our elementary schools and in elementary schools and in our high schools and middle schools. And we actually bring our robot and we show them the things that we're doing and we bring it down to their level. We don't make it very complex. We just kind of explain, this is what our robot does, this is why it's cool, this is how you can get involved. And we keep STEM very accessible. One of our big outreach events that we do is we actually modify toys for children with disabilities, so they can be a part of STEM in ways that they're able to. We also spread STEM. We go to local community events around our area, not just in our school district, and we spread our STEM knowledge. We also grow our own knowledge. We recently had an alumni come teach us about public speaking, because it's not a skill that everyone was born with, and it's very, very important for FTC. So he came out and he actually gave us pointers on how we can improve our public speaking for this coming season. And then we stay very sustainable. So right now we haven't gotten our new applicants yet, so the new applicants are a little funky. But we have team members from every single level, and we actually try to average their years of robotics experience to know how much they know and how much we need to teach them. So obviously the seniors have the most because they've been in robotics for the longest. And the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen obviously goes down. We want them to have as many years of experience and as much knowledge as we do. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about community impact. So for younger children, staying engaged with STEM in very simple ways is very important. They may not understand the complex things about FTC or about STEM, but if we bring it down to something they're able to do, it makes sense. It helps them stay engaged and really know what's happening and grow their love for it. And with adults, we actually help adults kind of understand the impact of STEM education, because even if adults are in STEM fields, they might not understand why the education at a young age is important, and we want to make sure that they do. And with professional to help and in turn help them. And this all shows a positive community impact, which is good. So there's a few different ways you can actually impact your local community. Local school events are a very simple and easy way to do this if you maybe don't have a lot of resources. So we go to younger events and we bring our robot or we bring them a STEM activity to do, and we allow them to do it and participate in that. And it actually helps a lot. There have been a few times I've seen elementary school kids come in, and then the next year I see them in FLL, which is obviously great. Social media, so posting often on social media is really, really helpful, I think, because sponsors or different adults within your community may not remember everything you tell them at an event, but they can look at your social media and go, oh, these are the things that they're doing, and this is how they're impacting the community. And then sponsorships. So sponsors can like look at your social media or look at the things that you've done within your outreach and be like, oh, this team is actually doing something good. We want to help them grow in that journey. And that's like really cool stuff. Okay, so those are just pictures of local school events, and this is actually our social media page. So we have our most important post, which is from when we went to the Kentucky premiere event. We actually have it pinned on our page because that's obviously a very big achievement. And we want to make sure that everyone sees that. We post regularly. Every single outreach event we do gets a social media post so that people who are there can see what all we did and people who aren't. And then Drew can talk to you about our sponsorships.
So the photo here on the sponsorship section is a photo of a mentor we acquired through a sponsorship. So we partnered with McDonald's for the last couple of seasons for a sponsorship, and through them we actually gained a mentor in STEM, because if you didn't know, there's a McDonald's in Fort Worth that has a automated robot and we drive through to bring your food. So we partnered with that specific location, and we got to meet the engineer who actually designed and built it fully. So he's been talking with us, and we've connected with him. And then I'm also going to talk about, so this is the keep it simple section. So we talked about when we go into local events, you know, we bring our big robot, but sometimes that can be a little difficult for like elementary school kids to process and everything. So sometimes we just bring a simple STEM activity just to kind of give them that passion of STEM robotics.
Can you go back up? And just another thing about the keeping it simple. So like there are actually going to be times where we bring paper and tape and we go, hey, make the tallest tower that you can out of just those materials, and then you like get like a lollipop usually because you know kids love candy. But this actually is really cool to see because they're engaging with STEM in a way that is tangible for them to understand. They can engage with the problem solving that we engage with in FTC and FLL, but at a level that is much simpler for them to understand. Okay, so this is actually just a screenshot of our social media. So the last 3 posts that we had a lot of engagement, which is really, really cool. There's a lot of people like reposting stuff that we did when we went to an event at our high school and at our elementary schools. And this kind of just shows that even though, you know, you may not seem like you're doing a lot when you're posting on social media, you just have to keep doing it consistently, because there are some people that like, even I know, who were like, oh my gosh, like I saw your post on Instagram. I'm like, well, that's like really cool. But okay.
Okay, so now that you actually have your outreach done, you need to learn how to present it. So how do you actually show that to the judges and convey all that you did throughout the season in just 15 short pages of a notebook?
Okay, so we kind of break this down into 3 really simple steps, and we use this format every single year. So first, our first step is to collect the outreach that we've done every year. Is we document everything with pictures. We kind of do a summary of the outreach event when it's over, so we don't forget anything, because you know the school year can be hectic, things can get crazy, and you want to make sure you remember everything. Then step 2, we select 3 of our larger outreach events that are easier to focus on the notebook, because just dumping a bunch of pictures or a bunch of short blurbs makes it hard for the judges to really process the big important things that your team is most proud of. And then step 3 is to make an outline for your notebook, which seems pretty simple, but there are a lot of teams that sometimes forget to do this, and it can be really important and helpful. So you want to make an outline, include places for pictures, so you're not trying to throw those in like last minute. And just make sure you do it very specific on the outreach events that you'll talk about in judging or in the bids. So why did we choose this outline? So this actually keeps the formatting very, very simple for the judges to look at. They look over dozens upon dozens of notebooks at these events. They talk to multiple different teams multiple times, and you want to make sure it's the information you give them they can process and they can remember. And this also has a sponsorship. So if a company were to reach out to you and go, hey, send me some of the outreach stuff that you do, you can just send them your notebook, those outreach pages, and it's very simple for them to understand. They might not know anything about FTC. They can understand those pages, and they can go, oh, I want to sponsor this team, or oh, I want to mentor this team, anything like that. And these are some examples of an outreach page that we have. Can you skip to the next one? Sorry. Okay, so this is what our average outreach or connect page looks like. So at the top, I can't point because I'm not tall, but at the top we have our goals for what we want to do. So this is specifically for our mentors. So we talk about some industry-based mentors we have, some of our teachers, and what they actually did on our robot. Because saying you have 30 mentors is not going to do much to the judges if you can't show the judges how those mentors actually helped you. So for example, we talked to Mr. Simmons, and he works at Lockheed Martin, and he actually helped us implement simple machines, which the judges love because that's like the most basic of engineering concepts. And we actually break our mentors down, so like how we found them and what connection we have with them. And all of this makes it very simple for the judges to understand, like, oh, these two people are based in the industry. Oh, sorry. And then like we have teachers and alumni, because obviously it's Black and connected alumni because we knew them when they were in high school, so it's not weird. And we talk about how we reach our mentors because that's part of the criteria for actually getting the award. And then this is another one. So this is an example of us breaking down some two very big outreach events outreach teams that we started. So Sparktour's been going on for 2 years now, but we just talked about how we've actually developed that process further. So like we went forward and on a seminar on boys to teachers. But this is showing that we didn't just start the event, like we didn't just start the outreach and then leave it where it was. We actually are growing because what's the point of us having that knowledge if we can't share it? And then this is our STEM overseas where we make small packages and we send them to underdeveloped countries so that kids who may not have like that immediate knowledge of STEM, they may not know that that's something they enjoy, they can actually try that out. And we just send it to lots of different places, to the Caribbean. We send them out to our local churches as well. And this is how we break it down. There's two very distinct parts of the notebook. And you can tell because the colors are different. It's very easy for the judge to read all down and go, okay, this is all one thing. If read on the other side, okay, this is all one thing as well. Okay, so when should this process start? Because you know the steps, you know kind of how it looks sometimes, but when should this process really start? Once your previous season ends, you should begin for the next season. So the simplest ways to set your team up for success is to go, okay, we did advance here, but we can start this process now so that at the beginning of the school year, we're not overwhelmed by this work. And then again, document everything. Even if it seems kind of silly to take just one little picture of something, that can actually be really beneficial in the long run. If you go, oh wait, like, we did this event, but we don't have a picture for it, and someone's like, oh wait, I have a picture on my phone, and then you just kind of plug it into the notebook, and then hold everyone on your team responsible. So all team members should be responsible in some way for the documentation of your outreach that you're doing, because you want everyone on your team to be able to speak knowledgeably about it, and that's the best way to do it. If you put one person in charge and hey, you're taking pictures for this outreach event, it will help them stay responsible and actually remember what they did at the outreach event. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Do you guys have any questions?
You need to build connections and meet with like industry professionals. What is the best way that you have to
So we go to a school in Alito, which is very close to Lockheed Martin. So we have a lot of friends whose parents work at Lockheed, but we also just sometimes just cold email companies. And we're like, sometimes we reach out for sponsorship and they return the email with, hey, we can't sponsor you right now, but we can provide this mentor. And we just kind of go like through our community. We talk to our parents, people they may know. My parents don't work in a STEM field, but they know people who do. And so they can like give us a connection like, hey, email this person, or like give this person a call, hop on this Zoom meeting with this person, and it helps us build those mentors. Because most of our mentors don't come like to our school. We just Zoom call them and we talk to them about things that we've done this season.
The thing I can add to that is you just like do everything. You never know where you're going to meet a mentor. So for example, we just recently did a local event at our high school for like new families and that we can come see what the town offers. So there we actually met the dad of an elementary schooler who was interested in coding, and his dad's actually a software engineer. So we met, connected with him, gave our contact info, and now we're getting a mentor for this season just by going to this outreach where you wouldn't even think that you're going to get a mentor, but you do just by talking to people and seeing if you can meet.
I have a question online. So they ask, how much do you lean on a notebook in bid judging order?
So I think that for like that specific question, we use the notebook as a simple like way for the judges to see what we're doing. So we have multiple different forms of documentation. The notebook's obviously the official one that we like turn in to the judges, but we use it in the pit log because sometimes the judges come by and we're in a match. For some reason, the past like 2 years, we've just had back-to-back matches, and the pit judges just can't seem to catch us with the robot. And I'm like, hey, we don't have the robot right now, but hey, look, we have this free CAD on our in our notebook of the robot. You can look at this, and when we lean on it just when the robot isn't there, and it helps also if they have a visual aid when you're telling them a story, because you can tell someone a story and then be like, okay, but do you have any documentation of you being there, or like, I don't know if you really did that, and we go, oh, we have this picture in our notebook, or oh, we have this picture on like a slideshow or something like that. So yeah.
I think that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.